And I'm Sheba Turk. Welcome to Kcal News at 9 and streaming on CBS News Los Angeles. We want to start with a look at your forecast. Meteorologist Alex Piston in this morning. And we've been having some warm temps. Will that continue for the weekend?
That's a big question. You know what? Temperatures started to cool off yesterday. I know just a few days ago we were talking temperatures 70s and 80s. Yes, that's no longer the story as temperatures will continue to tumble. Live look this morning over Malibu. Gorgeous view as we're looking out there. You can see lots of blue. Of course, sunshine is the story. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds today. Again, temperatures cooler than yesterday. So by region, I've got mostly 60s across the coast and the valleys, 50s across the high desert and the mountain community. So the big story as we move forward into this upcoming week will be strengthening Santa Ana winds. We'll talk about it coming up in just a few minutes. Ladies, back to you.
All right, thank you, Alex. We do begin with breaking news. Former President Jimmy Carter's final trip to the nation's capital is underway.
Yeah, the former president will briefly lie in repose in his home state of Georgia. Carter spent 80 years of his life in the small town of Plains with a population of fewer than 1,000 people. The former president passed away at 100 years old, but of course he had a remarkable life. He attended Plains High School and went to Georgia Tech until he received an appointment to the U.S. Naval Academy. While at the academy, he fell in love with Rosalind Smith, who was a friend of his sister Ruth. Carter only served one term, but negotiated a genuine peace treaty in the Middle East and won the Nobel Peace Prize. Carter's post-presidential career was more impressive to many than his presidential one.
This morning, the motorcade passed by the Methodist Church where Carter and former First Lady Rosalind married in 1946, as well as the home they lived and died in. A little over an hour ago, the procession stopped at Carter's family farm, which is now part of the Jimmy Carter National Historic Park. Carter's remains are now headed to Atlanta for a moment of silence in front of the Georgia Capitol and a ceremony at the Carter Presidential Center.
I've gotten to know and spend decades with my heroes. Not many of us get to do that, and fewer of us get to feel like they love them and admire them more after knowing them well for that many years.
Carter passed away after more than a year in hospice care, and surprisingly, his funeral was long planned. Presidential funerals are arranged when they are sworn into office. Former President Carter will lie in repose at the Carter Presidential Center in Atlanta. The public will pay respects before the ceremonies begin in Washington, D.C. on Tuesday. Carter will lie in state in the Capitol Rotunda ahead of the Thursday morning funeral at the Washington National Cathedral. President Joe Biden is scheduled to deliver a eulogy, and President-elect Donald Trump is expected to attend. The former president did not stop helping others after he left the White House.
Yeah, and some of his charity work took place right here in Southern California. Kcal News reporter Cara Finstrom has the story from Habitat for Humanity in Bellflower.
Here in the Southland, Habitat for Humanity is staging touching tributes like this one in Bellflower at one of their sites, encouraging folks to come out and remember the man who stopped by one of their construction sites in New York decades ago and got to work.
President Carter said, hey, you know, can I help out? And he was out of office, obviously, at the point, and he started building. And having been a farmer and someone who is a great carpenter, he said, I can do this.
The organization here in Greater LA, where the former president also took part in builds, invited the public to sign this door Friday. It symbolizes the many doors of opportunity he helped make possible through a life of service. Habitat LA transforms neighborhoods by bringing communities together to build or rebuild affordable homes. It also helps people access loans and down payment assistance. The organization says the 39th president and late Rosalind Carter started contributing in 1984. Working in communities in the U.S. and around the world year after year.
At my age, I'm 83 years old, get a little bit dizzy, so I just sit down for a while.
Right after the former president's death, we spoke with the San Pedro man who says many years ago he helped build his home and signed a family Bible.
As a human being, he was very dedicated to helping others, and that's what makes a person special.
He was usually the first person to show up. He wore his tool belt, his hard hat, his kerchief, and he worked.
Local leaders and everyday Americans say the former president never lost sight of the importance of owning a home. Habitat for Humanity also has an online memorial where folks can go and leave their remembrances. And over in Riverside, their site will have a door that you can go sign through January 9th. Cara Finstrom, Kcal News.
Thank you, Cara. In New Orleans, police are ramping up security after the deadly terror attack on New Year's Day. 14 people were killed, dozens more wounded. Friday, investigators searched the Houston home of